middle ground on this. We need to really, really work quickly because I do think this is important. China doesn't have any rules about that. Anybody in China complains, hey, the data center you're building here is causing everything to be noisier. The water's crazy. And I know it's going to make life more expensive here. What does China do? They tell them to shut up. Here it's different. Here you can stand up and raise questions, raise your hand and ask questions. So data centers, I'm all for them, but I also think they can't be a burden to the community in which they reside. They have to be responsible citizens, and that's going to be a big stinking deal. But we'll be following that too. We talked briefly, when Guy Shiraki's on, I always look at what's going on in the education world, and I saw a video today that I think is really kind of interesting because it relates to the state of education in America. And we often talk about how kids are not reading or writing, and there was a video posted by a high school English teacher yesterday. This video went viral yesterday. I may not be able to play all of it. It's kind of a lengthy clip, but I think this is important. It's a high school English teacher talking about high school seniors. So these are people who are 17 or 18 years old. 17, 18 years old. They're supposedly graduating, going out into the world. The minute they turn 18, they're considered adults. They are of their majority. They can sign a contract. They can fight and die for this country. They can do just about anything. But if they can't read or write, what good are they? Roll clip 1, please. Okay. Maybe we don't have it. I think you have it, Sean.
No, I got it right now. It's just that the audio's not being played. I am just trying to add the audio.
Okay. Well, we'll that was a very dramatic intro.
Let's go.
And then the computer got us.
I literally broke down in the middle of class because I'm teaching seniors. These kids are leaving high school and going to college, hopefully, after they finish. We had 2 paragraphs to read, 1 sentence, complete to write. I gave them the sentence stems. I basically completed the sentence for them in the model. These are 17 and 18-year-old kids, and they couldn't fill in 4 words. 4 words. I gave them the scenario. We annotated together. I gave them the answers before we even had the problem. And they couldn't do it. I don't know. I simply don't know where the problem is. This is only day 2. And I have seniors who simply cannot read and seniors who cannot write.
You can
They
stop it there.
cannot write. They can reason.
Can they reason, though, sir? That is the question. Now, where is the fault on this? Where is the fault? The education system has allowed our standards to fall for years and years and years. And this teacher was from Houston. I believe this was a school district near Houston. And one of the superintendents came out and said, well, yes, we have a problem. For several years now, we have been reading well below grade level. The students in the high schools have been reading only something like 28% were reading and doing math at grade level. Now they're up to 58% after pouring money and effort into it to try and fix that and put the focus on it. They're still they're still not even at 60% reading and functioning mathematically at grade level. So where's the problem? Is the problem in the parents? Is the problem in the fact that everybody's got a cell phone? Is the problem in the fact that we accepted this? Is the problem that the teachers are focused on indoctrinating students into their thinking, their liberal thinking, as opposed to reading, writing, and arithmetic and American history? Is it that we don't teach STEM, science, technology, engineering, math? Isn't that what STEM means? That we're not teaching that we're teaching to Common Core in the test? I do think that there is a massive deficit, that we don't have people who read anymore. And my wife reads an average of a book every other day. I listen to books more than I read books, but I still listen to them because I retain information better that way. But I don't think kids are even doing that. They're in their phones, in social media. And I got to get to that. You got to remind me, Sean. Before we get out of here today, I have to play that social media clip that shows you that the Democrats are using social media with paid young influencers who are mobilizing and teaching kids what's wrong without these kids learning how to investigate it themselves. It is truly disturbing to me. But that tearful, now viral video from this teacher is absolutely heartbreaking. I'm going to take a break. When we come back, we'll lighten it up a little bit before the end of the 4 o'clock hour here. 5 o'clock hour just around the corner. Got to take care of some more of the news du jour, some more of the crazy clips, Democrats saying the darndest things. It's Mike Opelka. It's Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Ethos.
Apple is working on a new home device that Bloomberg says looks a lot like rival products from Amazon and Google. The report says Apple's Smart Hub will have a 7-inch square display designed for FaceTime video conferencing, home security monitoring, and an intercom system that can connect with multiple devices. Apple will also integrate Siri AI into its Smart Hub, which is expected to launch by early 2027. I'm Jason Brooks.
Back to school season is here, and Dollar General has everything you need to start the school year strong. Don't forget to grab a pair of bright yellow sunglasses from the Yellow Glasses Project for just $2. Every purchase makes a difference, with 100% of proceeds helping support teachers, classrooms, and nonprofit organizations working to improve reading and literacy skills across the country. Stop by Dollar General today and shine bright with the Yellow Glasses Project, available now at Dollar General. The Yellow Glasses Project is a program of the Dollar General Literacy Foundation. Back to school season is here, and Dollar General has everything you need to start the school year strong. Don't forget to grab a pair of bright yellow sunglasses from the Yellow Glasses Project for just $2. Every purchase makes a difference, with 100% of proceeds helping support teachers, classrooms, and nonprofit organizations working to improve reading and literacy skills across the country. Stop by Dollar General today and shine bright with the Yellow Glasses Project, available now at Dollar General. The Yellow Glasses Project is a program of the Dollar General Literacy Foundation.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Is life insurance still on your list from earlier this year? Now is the perfect time to just get it done. A buddy told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I added this to my list this year and got it done. I called SelectQuote and was shocked at how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $18 a month. My wife's also 40, and her $5,000 policy was only $16 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, no medical exam was required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Checking this off my list felt great, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-280-5858 for your free quote today. That's 1-800-280-5858. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-280-5858. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT from the Piazza Auto Group Studios. Experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations.
It is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. It's Mike Opelka with you. I just was stunning Sean Sereno here during the break because I was watching a story that happened just 11 miles from downtown, 11 miles from Center City, just outside of the city. A little kid fishing with his dad caught a piranha in a little local lake. A piranha. 8-year-old Seamus Coffey caught a piranha. Now, they're saying the fish might not have survived in the lake, but I wonder how the kid caught it then. It was an illegally released pet. Just kind of crazy. Red-bellied piranha caught by father and son duo on Pennsylvania Lake. The Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission has confirmed the fish is a piranha. Now, good-sized catch. 2-pound red-bellied piranha in Ridley Park Lake in Delco in Delaware County last weekend. They are not native, commonly found in warm fresh water across South America. And I'm just wondering if there's just one or if this is one of many. Red-bellied piranha. Now, when I was a lot younger, one of my brothers had a piranha that he kept as a pet, using air quotes, with my fingers. He kept a piranha in an aquarium in his frat house, but he brought it home during summer and spring break and had to feed it live fish, which is really disturbing to me. But kind of interesting. So this sounds like the makings of a great horror film in Delco. Ridley Park Lake. Kid catches a 2-pound piranha. I wonder if that's good eating. Sean, have you ever had fried piranha?
No, I never even know you can eat piranhas.
Well, I know they can eat you, so...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Wouldn't that seem like that'd be fair for us to be able to eat them, too?
Yeah, how would you think they would taste like? Do you think they would taste like savory or something like that, or salty?
Well, I think it depends on how you cook them. If you pan fry them and you a little butter in that, and you put a little, maybe a little salt and pepper, just make it kind of fresh, natural. Freshwater fish doesn't need too much. Would you do piranha sushi? Would you eat it raw?
I mean, I like sushi though, but I don't know. I might have to fry it just for the first time.
Yeah, I think a little red-belly piranha fillets would be good. Yeah, little fish fillets.
I'm just scared of eating like I don't know. You know how piranhas got a million teeth. I just don't know if the flesh might have some teeth bones in there or something like that.
Yeah, when they lay it out on the plate, do they serve it like a bronzino where you get the whole fish laid out on the plate and maybe
with the head?
Yeah, with the head on. You see the giant teeth looking up at you.
I don't know.
That.
You might be more tempted you might be more scared to eat it than actually wanted to eat it though. It might like pop up on the plate.
Yeah, my mother used to say whenever I'd go fishing, and she'd say, now you be careful. Every fish, even the ones on the line, always has one good bite left in it. One good bite left in it. We'll see. Wrapping up the second hour of the show here. Still 2 more hours to go. Like I said, Zioli's not in today. It's Opelka. It's Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
Senators and their lack of hard work make teachers look like hardscapers. You know, that's one thing if you're teaching high-end AP courses in 12th grade where you have a bunch of future Ivy League students and you're in a good school district. If you're in a public school district and every day is a battle just to get them to even show up for class, I feel bad for some of those teachers because compared to a senator, they're grinding. Think about that. 14 of the next 21 weeks on recess. But then I got to sit there and say, well, we got Todd Blanche confirmed. We knew Todd Blanche would get confirmed, right?
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT in the free Odyssey app.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for buying gas. That's right. You can earn cash back with Upside just for buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside, and just last year, I made nearly $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get cash back? If you like extra cash, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back when you fill your tank. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
When you go on vacation, does it make sense to have someone else pack for you? Of course not. The same can be said for your retirement. Your 401k could be packed with things you don't know about or even need. If you're close to retirement but don't have a plan customized to your goals, that's kind of like taking a 30-year vacation with no idea what's in your suitcase. Seems like a stressful way to start what should be a relaxing time. Jim Cipriotti and the Retire Ready Financial Group can help you unpack your savings and build a plan to help reduce future taxes, along with a clearly defined income strategy. Call Jim at 610-894-7415 for your complimentary retirement game plan, or visit retirereadyfg.com. That's 610-894-7415.
Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
Tomorrow's 7:10 Phillies Twins game can be heard on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. The Phillies are on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT tomorrow.
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. The war in Iran is approaching 6 months, and President Trump today said the U.S. continues to make progress.
Pretty soon I'll be declaring the Hormuz Strait a territory of the United States.
He was speaking on New York's Long Island not long after he dismissed reports that families of crew members aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier had feared for the health and safety of their loved ones because the ship had been at sea for 9 months. Retired Marine Colonel Steve Ganyard is an ABC News contributor who says the complaints are mostly anecdotal.
So 9 months at sea, not putting a step on land, not a can of beer, 9 months, and they're keeping their focus. And so I guess what I think is a bit distressing is that this seems to, in the past couple of days, become a political football.
The Army's temporarily grounded training flights for Apache helicopters as it tries to determine what caused a crash during a training exercise near Fort Hood in Texas this week that killed both soldiers on board. Luigi Mangione admitted to stalking and killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in New York City. Mangione today pleaded guilty to 2 federal charges.
This was not a spontaneous act of violence. It was deliberate, calculated, and premeditated.
That's U.S. Attorney Jamie McDonald, who says there was no deal, and Mangione faces life in prison when he's sentenced in December. He still faces state murder charges. That trial is set to begin next month, but his defense team seeks to dismiss the state charges. A 3-judge panel of the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled President Trump's goal of ending gender-affirming care is not improper and thus cannot form the basis of quashing a subpoena against a provider of medical treatment for transgender youth. An ACLU attorney who represented Queer Doc says they'll continue fighting the subpoena. You're listening to ABC News.
In a recent survey of 123,000 wireless customers, Pure Talk was the only wireless company to receive 5 stars in every category: coverage, support, value, and data. What else do you need to know? Switch to Pure Talk today and get any plan, including their top shelf unlimited data plan for just $15 a month for your first 3 months. No contract, no commitment. Dial pound 250, say micro, and let Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team help you make the switch.
These days, heading back to school means more than pencils and notebooks. It means laptops, tablets, online accounts, and a lot of personal information moving across the internet. WebRoot Total Protection gives families powerful online defense tools with antivirus, VPN, cloud backup, identity protection, and more, helping keep your digital life secure throughout the school year and beyond. Go to webroot.com/radio and get 60% off today. That's webroot.com/radio for 60% off. Live a better digital life with WebRoot, because peace of mind shouldn't be optional.
Alec Murtaugh's murder retrial will take place as of now, but it will not occur in Colleton County. That's where his wife and son were killed. Judge Deborah McClaslin said,
I'm going to order that venue be transferred to a county outside of the 14th Judicial Circuit, because I believe that the defendant cannot receive a fair and impartial trial in Colleton County.
She did not say where the case will be tried. The South Carolina Supreme Court overturned Murtaugh's murder conviction and life sentence for killing his wife and son earlier this year. It's after they ruled that a court clerk may have improperly influenced the jury. A former law enforcer arrested on charges of plotting a mass shooting in New Orleans has gone free.
Christopher Gillum worked for 2 decades, first as a police officer in North Carolina, then as a sheriff's deputy in Florida. He was arrested in April after investigators were told that he was planning to, quote, target and kill black people at New Orleans Jazz Fest. Retired FBI Special Agent Frank Brostrom says the question before a grand jury was simple.
Is that enough to charge him with intent to commit a domestic terrorist act?
The grand jury said no in June, and Gillum was quietly released from custody. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Reddit's the online forum that's home to discussions in communities on almost any conceivable topic. It's now heading to the S&P 500. Trading will begin Tuesday after Reddit went public in 2024. I'm Brian Clark, ABC News.
In a recent survey of 123,000 wireless customers, Pure Talk was the only wireless company to receive 5 stars in every category: coverage, support, value, and data. What else do you need to know? Switch to Pure Talk today and get any plan, including their top shelf unlimited data plan, for just $15 a month for your first 3 months. No contract, no commitment. Dial pound 250, say micro, and let Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team help you make the switch.
When you want the best that there is, when you want the best in the entire biz, there's a name the stations call you sure to like. It's America's host, and his name is Mike. Stunt brain, that is. You've heard him before, and you'll hear him again. Everyone loves him when he hosts on 1210.
It is 5:06. Mike Opelka with you on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. How you doing? How are you? I'm happy to be here, thrilled to be here, second half of the show. That's right, we're going till 7 o'clock because Zioli is on holiday, as they say across the pond. I was talking to Sean during the break while we were opening up with the Newman Price intro for my show. And, Sean, you were saying that sounds like Foo Fighters to you?
Yeah, it sounds like the Foo Fighters. I was just at the concert yesterday. First and foremost, it was an amazing show. I had a great time.
It was a 3-hour show, right, at the Link?
The Newman Price song sounded just like one of the songs that I was listening to yesterday.
Well, now, a 3-hour show at the Link, how crowded was it? Packed?
Oh, insane. Actually, it was longer than 3 hours. Well, they performed for 3 hours, but the show started at 5:30. So
Wow.
It was a great show. It was 52,000 people that showed up and had a great time. Everyone had a great time. It was exciting, electrifying.
Well, that's good. I didn't realize you were that big of a rocker. I ran into Dave Grohl at Penn Station in New York City one day, and he was traveling from New York to D.C., where he lives very close to Washington, D.C. He's got a bar there, too.
Oh, really?
And, yeah, and he travels with his mom,
Oh.
which I thought was, yeah. His mom, and I was talking to both of them separately because Dave went to go get his mom a slice, which you think, what a nice guy. Here's a big rock star. He's traveling on the train out of New York City down to D.C., and he went to go get his mama a slice because she was hungry.
Listen, mama got to eat, you know. Mama's not going to play no matter who you are, right?
Yeah, but face it, Sean. If you had Dave Grohl money, right? If you were Dave Grohl and you had all the success of Foo Fighters and all the other various and sundry successes you've had, wouldn't you have somebody that if Mama's hungry, you'd go, listen, Bill, go get Mama a slice.
That's what I was going to say too. But then it's Mama. You know, Mama's not going to play. She's going to be like, no, I told you, boy, to get the food for me. And then once she say that, it's nothing you can say after that.
That's true. Very true. Very true. Cool. Very. I'm glad you got to go to that Foo Fighters yesterday at the
that
Link.
one. And then the next concert I'm going to is the AC/DC one that's coming up at the Link.
Really? Well, you need to be a reporter for Phil Almquist's Saturday Night Show.
Oh, Phil be the one educating me. I love listening to his shows on Saturday night. So
that's right.
You know, everyone should definitely tune in to listen to Phil's show. It's a really
Phil,
good show.
11 to 1 a.m. and then now at 1 a.m. the Three Disgruntled Taxpayers show is on. It's a lot of fun. We're starting to run the gamut here on Talk Radio 1210. All kinds of new and innovative programming, plus being live and local, which is one of the great things. And speaking of local, I saw this piece in the Inquirer today, and Kensington High School students and staff will not be reporting to Kensington High School to start the school year. They now have to move to the Austin Meechan School, that building, more than 7 miles away, and this is like less than 2 weeks before the opening of the school year. Why? Well, they were working on a heating, ventilation, and air conditioning project, an HVAC project. And while they were taking out the old system, they were having to remove the asbestos. And inspectors came in and said, "No, this is a mess. You can't do this. This is too bad. There's too much carcinogenic stuff in here." You think they would have known this before just the end of the summer? You think they would have been working on this? No. So literally weeks before the school year starts, everybody going to Kensington High School, students and staff and faculty, have to report till the end of the calendar year. So you're going to be traveling an additional 7+ miles to go to school. So good job. Really good job. This is crazy stuff. This kind of thing makes me absolutely crazy, but there you are. We were talking about what's going to happen in 2028. We made some speculation earlier that J.D. Vance is looking more and more like he has presidential timber, and I've often said on this show and other shows that I do think Marco Rubio is one of the stars of this administration, of the cabinet, and that Rubio and Vance, what a great duo to choose from in order to put together a good ticket for 2028 after President Trump is finished. But the Democrats are now facing what's going to happen to them and who will be atop their ticket. And I was looking at the prediction markets today, and for the first time, it appears that AOC has gotten into the top spot among all the Democrat candidates. And you have so many. You have old school and some of the new radical DSA people, some of the squad. The AOC will always be part of the squad for me. But AOC now being the leading candidate ahead of Newsom, ahead of Mayor Pete, ahead of Kamala Harris, that's really interesting. At least it is to me. And there are a lot of people that will dismiss AOC and say, no, she's not smart enough to do it. We said that 8 years ago, right? And now here we are. And she's one of the firebrands of the Democrat Party. And because the party has shifted so far left with the Democrat Socialists, she's not just one of the firebrands, not just one of the leaders. She's now also considered to be in the middle of the party. She's one of the people who is considered to be mainstream Democrat, which really should disturb you and me and everybody. But AOC as a potential candidate in 2028, that question is now on the lips of reporters when President Trump shows up as he's getting ready to board Air Force One. this was not that long ago.
I think so. But if you really look at it, they're all saying the same thing. They're all trying to disavow themselves from saying about crime. And we love sanctuary cities. All the things that they said, they're now trying to disavow.
So is AOC a candidate? President says, yeah, I think so. But she's going to disavow all the madness of the Democrat socialists. Is she? Is she? Well, earlier this week, she was on ABC News with Jonathan Karl. And she was asked about the crazy candidate in Wisconsin, Francesca Hong, who had all those old tweets calling for abolishing prisons and police. And this was the one that I think showed us this clip. You can cue up clip 15 there, Sean. This was a clip that I think showed us that AOC is making plans beyond this midterms and looking more towards Washington than her district.
Was it? I mean, did the movement go too far with some of those positions? I mean, you briefly supported the idea of defunding the police.
Well, I think that during this time and especially during COVID, there was a huge opening of the Overton window. We were shut down. There was some of the highest unemployment rates that we have seen because of those shutdowns. Yeah. And I think that the doors were really open in trying to entertain any and every policy that was going to get us to a better place. And I actually think that the discussions that were had in that time were quite fruitful. I think that when we talk about crime today, it's fundamentally different than the way that we talked about crime in bringing crime down, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that we all share in the goals of having as low a crime rate as possible. I think that during lockdown, of course, rhetoric in that time is not rhetoric that we would use today. And I'm grateful that these candidates have the opportunity to present who they are to their electorate and what they're campaigning on in this moment.
Because and obviously...
So she can say a lot without saying anything. That was a pretty good word salad, but she latches onto concepts that everybody can latch onto. Crime rate being down, that's something we can all talk about. But she never mentions why the crime rate is down. When you take hundreds of thousands of people who shouldn't be in this country, many of them criminals, and move them out, and then you have hundreds of thousands of them who self-deport because they know they were going to be moved out too, then the crime rate is going to go down. When you clean up Washington, D.C., when you clean up Memphis, the crime rate goes down. When you start getting serious about policing and you get rid of cash bail, even San Francisco is starting to turn around because the prosecutor out there realized the woke ideas were horrible. So I do think AOC is going to distance herself from the early woke days of her career in Congress, but she's also going to have to work really hard to distance herself from the Democrat socialists. And to show you how wacky the Democrat socialists are, there was a Democrat socialist who was being interviewed out in California on a local news program, a Democrat socialist proving that Democrat socialists really can't answer questions. I think that's 25, Sean.
Are we subjecting kids to this? I was just at an event, and a woman came up to me and she said, "I think my number one issue now."
Now that's Michelle Tafoya. Sorry, hold on to that one, Sean. That's Michelle Tafoya. The one I'm looking for here is I think it's cut 25 from the list of clips. It says it's one right before that. Dem socialists can't really answer questions.
What we really want to see is a horizon where folks are not reliant on armed enforcement to meet our public safety needs.
Right, but it says defund police on the website. That's your goal. And also to get rid of prisons and jails, correct?
Yes.
So if my daughter is assaulted and raped, is there any agency that would seek to find her assailant and bring him to justice?
Of course, yeah, of course.
What would
absolutely.
it be if not police, and where would he be if not a jail?
I guess I really want to avoid getting kind of caught into these hypotheticals and talk more about the reality that we're actually facing right now, which is that we're spending absolutely outrageous amounts of money on police and policing, and we're not spending money on things that actually make people safe and feel safe, which is things like actually well-lit streets, the streetlights in Los Angeles. Everybody agrees it's a huge problem. Things like mental health care and substance use treatment. So things that drive people to commit crimes and to that make our society less safe. We're not doing anything about the root causes, and instead we're funneling money into the police.
You say you fight for the working class. Based on what we see, working class people don't actually advocate for the prisons to be open and all those people to be let.
I mean, we're not advocating for the prison doors to be opened and everyone to be let out. What we're advocating for is a redistribution of our resources and a change in our priorities and what we think of when we think of safety.
This is a DSA leader, by the way.
You can stop there. There's a crazy DSA person out, and this is one of the co-chairs of the Democrat Socialists. And by saying that we're not advocating for the prison doors to be open, no, you want the prison doors just to be closed permanently, so that no one will be in prison. They really don't have any answers. All they have are statements that we need to reallocate resources. And remember when they were saying social workers? Social workers are the answer. No. So you've got the Democrat Socialists. You have the squad members in the AOC. So where are the old school Democrats standing? Where are the people like Kamala Harris standing now? Kamala has been trying to figure it out because I kind of feel like she's blindsided by what's happened in her party, just like Nancy Pelosi has to be, just like Chuck Schumer has to be. The establishment Democrats have suddenly had to step up and push the Democrat Socialists aside while they're fighting with the squad people like AOC. Kamala is trying to put herself out there every single day now. And she's now lost her footing as the leading candidate for 2028, at least based on the prediction markets. And here she is with Stacey Abrams on Stacey Abrams' podcast, delivering more word salads. That's 24, right above the Dem Socialist cut.
The part of the pain of this moment, Stacey, is these so-called leaders who are pushing this kind of this narrative about who is a legitimate American citizen among American citizens. Yeah. This blood and soil narrative that's being pushed at the highest levels of our government to suggest that, once again, to hearken back to times when it was explicit that there was a hierarchy among Americans and who was superior and whom was inferior, all citizens. And that's what's happening right now.
No, it's not. And I don't know how you can even make that statement. To make that blood and soil claim is to kind of put a blood libel on the GOP. But it's just proof that they don't have policies. They're not standing on any real policies. And you do need to stand on policies. And the clip right above that, Sean, is where I'm going next. This is the guy who beat the crazy candidate in Wisconsin. His name is Crowley. Up until about a month before the election, he had dropped out. He was not going to run. And it is suspected that Democrat Party leaders said, wait a minute, we have a problem with Francesca Hong. She's a nut job. And if she runs and wins, we will lose the governorship in Wisconsin. So Crowley was actually enticed back into the race by the current governor, Democrat governor of Wisconsin, said, no, you got to get back in the race. He gets back in the race. He wins by less than half a percentage point, but you can tell he's also not ready for prime time. He meets with Meet the Press. He meets with Kristen Welker, and she's asking him questions that he's just not ready to answer.
Why rule out temporary relief at the pump?
Because we need permanent relief. We have actually proposed repealing the minimum markup law on gas, which is a law that's been on the books since 1939 here in the state of Wisconsin.
Why not
which
do
means
both,
that
though?
right now,
Why not do both? Why not get rid of the gas tax and then try to work toward long-term relief, too?
Because we need to provide long-term relief. I mean, what we have seen related to one day of gas taxes is not going to provide a sufficient amount of funds for individuals when we can provide that one-time, that long-term relief.
If you told me that you were going to temporarily suspend the gas tax in the state of Pennsylvania, if you told me you were going to temporarily suspend the gas tax in the state of Delaware while you worked on permanently reducing the gasoline tax in both states, I would say thank you. I would say that's a good idea. And the fact that this guy can't understand these two concepts can work together, that two ideas can be moving forward at the same time, shows you that he's not capable of thinking on that kind of higher level. He is going to be, I believe, a very tough person to beat in Wisconsin. Why? Well, he had been representing Milwaukee, the highest density in the state. And he's also would be a historic choice. And we know how the Democrats like to say, we want to elect the first female president. We want to elect the first black president. We want to elect the first one-legged Native American transgender person. So they're going to push the fact that this would be historic for Wisconsin without looking at the policies and or the capabilities of the person. It's virtue signaling, it's DEI politics, and I hope there are debates, just like I hope there are debates in the Michigan Senate race, which we still have to dive into a little bit more on the Michigan Senate race, because you now have El Sayed, who seems to be having an issue. And I point to the polling expert from CNN, the guy named Harry Enton. Harry Enton is the guy that, he's entertaining to watch, but he also is not afraid to bring up topics that might not actually ever make it on CNN because they tell the truth about what the reality is. Harry Enton talking about a couple of interesting things, that there may be a sweep across the South and there may be some issues for the polling numbers of this El Sayed character. The polling clip, please, Sean.
Georgia, look at this. John Ossoff up by 13 points. How about Roy Cooper, the former governor, up 9 points? And then James Tallarico holding on to that lead in the great state of Texas down there in the South, 2 points. So 3 southern states, 3 former Confederate states, and you see that Democrats are leading in them all. There has not been a Senate Democratic win in North Carolina since 2008. And in Texas, you have to go all the way back since 1988. So it could, in fact, be a historic year for Democrats in these 3 southern states.
Could be. And then you look at what's going on in Michigan. And less than a week after the win by El Sayed, it appears that there is a problem, that his polling numbers are negative, I think it's negative 14 among Democrat voters. So there is a chance that the Democrats will not win that seat. Now, had he not won that primary, it would have been, again, a much more competitive race against Haley Stevens, the little cartoon voice lady. But we'll keep an eye on that. We still have a few more weeks to go before the midterms. I have more that I need to get to, but I think I need to take a little break here. There's some more madness from this week. I have some more what I'm calling the Friday leftovers that I want to get to, including a great clip from Dana White, the guy who's the head of the UFC. And I mentioned this yesterday, and I did not get to it. The Transportation Secretary, Sean Duffy, is doing something just absolutely genius to make sure that we have some great minds that are in the control rooms of the air traffic control towers. So we will get to that. Plus, Rahm Emanuel, is he another one of the guys who thinks he's going to be a Democrat candidate in 2028? I don't know if he really believes it, but we'll play his latest madness as well. It's Mike Opelka. It's Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Hey, this is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Listen, I know sometimes you worry about coming to see me because you don't want to invest in real estate, because you don't want to deal with toilets, trash, or tenants. I'm going to teach you a way that you don't have to deal with toilets, trash, or tenants, or even own any real estate and invest in real estate at the same time. You want to learn this, so go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com, and take a complimentary class this Thursday. And I promise you, no toilets, no trash, no tenants.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-329-1010. That's 1-800-329-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-329-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Hey, Dawn Stensland here. You know my guys, Marvin E. Cans Heating and Air Conditioning, and now Plumbing, too. Veteran-founded and supporters of our Travis Manion Foundation Radiothon. So far, summer has been hot, real hot. Hot like I can't even remember. If you haven't had your AC tune-up, you better get it now. If my guys at Marvin E. Cans feel your unit needs to be replaced, they'll install a new Train system at a fair price. Hard to stop a train? Go to marvinecans.com, marvinekanze.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
The Birds are back, and another championship run starts now. Don't just watch the season, be part of it. Hit the road with thousands of fellow fans and take over the opposing stadium. Fans of Philly has road trips available now for Nashville, Arizona, Chicago, London, and more. Every trip includes airfare, game tickets, and an exclusive pregame party. Book your seat today with the official travel partner of 94 WIP and the Eagles Radio Network at fansofphilly.com. That's fans with a P.com.
Life doesn't slow down, and planning your financial future can feel overwhelming. That's where Monastra Financial Group comes in. Whether you're preparing for retirement, managing a 401k, or protecting what matters most, their team offers personalized guidance built around you. With a straightforward approach, they help turn complex decisions into clear, confident steps forward. Take control of your financial future today. Text Mike Monastra at 484-471-4879. That's 484-471-4879.
Celebrate the legendary voice of the Birds, Merrill Reese, at Merrill Live, an unforgettable evening of stories, memories, and behind-the-scenes moments with Merrill Reese and special appearances from some of your favorite players and more. Merrill Live at the Scottish Rite Auditorium, Tuesday, September 15th. Get your tickets now at 94WIP.com. Presented by PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865. And Impriano Roofing and Siding. The best homes have an Impriano roof.
There's nothing simple about choosing an engagement ring. Most people don't know where to start. That's why they turn to Family & Company Jewelers on Route 70 in Marlton. JR will walk you through every step, diamonds, settings, styles, and how to choose what actually fits their budget and their partner. There's no pressure and no confusion, just straightforward guidance and a wide selection to compare with confidence. The goal is simple. Leave knowing you made the right decision. Family & Company Jewelers in Marlton, New Jersey, South Jersey's diamond destination.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Kale & Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
Two different things here. If you're going on vacation with a bunch of adults and you want to have the, those evenings where you're at the shore house, have a little fire pit or whatever. But if you're just taking your kids for like a 4-day, 3-night vacation to insert whatever beach town, aren't you supposed to be out at the beach or at the pool or on the boardwalk most of the day? Whatever happened to just finding something that's affordable, you're going to maybe take a nap at, you're going to sleep at, and you're going to go in and get a shower. Like, why are you spending $10,000 on something that you're going to spend like 5% of your vacation time in? It seems like a poor investment.
Have you ever been to the Jersey Shore?
He clearly has.
Yeah.
Start your day with Kale & Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app. Now you can listen to Talk Radio 1210, WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
It is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Mike Opelka with you. 5:31 on this Friday afternoon. Friday, Louie to you. We still have an hour and a half. I can't believe it. We get the extra hour because Zioli is out today. He posted that video. I haven't watched it yet, of the guy who used to work for Stern. Gorilla, he was called when he worked for Stern. And it seems to me, my wife and I were talking about this, there's a whole lot of former Stern people who are out there talking. And they're not talking nicely about Howard Stern. They're talking a lot of smack about him. Artie Lang, the comic who worked for Stern for quite some time, he's really been spitting some comments about Stern. And I'm wondering if the NDA, the non-disclosure agreements, suddenly ran out. And so all these people are going to be running to the press. We will see. Speaking of running to the press, the president is bouncing around. Leading up to the midterm elections, the president was trying to get to all 50 states and make appearances and kind of campaign stuff. I know there's going to be a convention of sorts in Texas ahead of the midterm elections, and a friend of mine asked me, hey, you're going to go to the Trumpapalooza is what he called it. And I said, no, I'm not going to be able to get to Texas for that. But I might have some reports from there from some of our friends. If I'm doing radio not next week but the week after, if Trumpapalooza is going on, I'll certainly give you whatever I get. I just think the idea of a full-blown convention is a waste of time and money. I think it'd be better served doing these presidential appearances where the president comes to key districts, key states, and ramps up the vote for turnout, because I think that's really important. President Trump on Long Island not that long ago today, and he was given a little insight to how he thinks we should feel about the price of gas as it relates to the affordability crisis and Iran.
This. So, for you to pay a tiny little bit more for your gasoline, just remember, you're doing it so that a very evil country cannot have... A country, really, it's the #1 state sponsor of terror in the world. We don't want to have them have a nuclear weapon. So remember that when you have to pay a little bit more, you're at $4. It's okay. I mean, it's... I'll never apologize. I did the right thing. But you could, if you didn't have...
So the president doing what I think at this rally in Garden City. Hang on one second there, Sean. The president doing what I think he should do on a national level. I think there should be an address from the Oval, maybe from the Blue Room, whatever, to say, here's where we are 7 months into this war with Iran, and here's why. Here's why we're doing it. There was a crawl that ran across the screen earlier that said the president is going to declare the Strait of Hormuz a U.S. territory, which would mean we might have some dominion and or ability to protect it militarily. And I know that's going to raise a lot of questions. We'll see how that goes. Declaring the Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf of America is a little easier than saying we declare the Strait of Hormuz to be a U.S. territory. But we'll see where that leads. It's going to be pretty interesting. And Tuna Fang put in the YouTube chat the Karg Island Hotel. Those of you that don't know what Karg Island is, it is the massive oil terminal that really is where 90% of Iran's oil travels through, the Karg Island terminal. And we've been talking about, should we take out the Karg Island terminal? Should we destroy it? Should we blow that thing up? If you do and you want to rebuild Iran, then it's going to take a lot more time because you have to rebuild all that structure. And so that's why we haven't really gone in and wiped that thing out. We could have blocked it. Maybe that's what we've done, but we will see. Victoria Coates, Dr. Victoria Coates on Wednesday she was with us Wednesday or Thursday. Thursday. She was with us yesterday talking about what the president's doing to economically squeeze Iran by denying them the ability to sell their oil. We are making sure that the economic pressure is probably more difficult on the country than the constant military pressure. We shall see. But I like when the president goes out and makes speeches like that. I just think that kind of clarity on what's happening with with the Iranian situation needs to be presented very controlled environment from the White House would be a good thing, Mr. President. Just saying. Speaking of other good things coming out of the administration, I mentioned this the other day. I think this is a genius move by the Transportation Secretary, Sean Duffy. We have a need to make sure that the skies with airplanes are being directed by talented, smart people. So Transportation, Sean Duffy came up with the idea to recruit gamers. Now, I'm not a gamer. I'm not a video game guy. I've never been a video game guy. I remember going to bars where they had Space Invaders, but that's about it. I never wanted to have a Sony system or whatever system. Sean, you probably have a game system at home, do you? PlayStation, whatever you got?
Yeah, I'm the PlayStation guy.
Sorry, I can't park my butt on the couch for hours on hours with a controller. I'd rather be out on a golf course being frustrated for hours and hours.
I feel you.
But you know, Sean, I know you love your radio work and you're good at what you do in radio, but have you ever thought that maybe you should be an air traffic controller?
No, I never did. Never even thought about it, actually.
Well, why don't we play this clip and you listen to what the Transportation Secretary has to offer? Eight.
You guys are trying to recruit gamers?
They problem solve, they're spatially aware, they do multiple things at the same time.
I've been a gamer most of my life.
They are looking for people that play video games. Okay, well that definitely fits me.
Yeah, you know what, I'm one of them.
You can merge gaming with aviation, why not? It's like the best of both worlds.
I actually encountered the gamer ad.
I grew up playing a lot of flight simulators. I've always loved airplanes.
The similarities, making decisions in just a couple seconds or less.
So I wrote down the date and I stayed up till 12 until they launched the application.
I went out, passed the test, and I can't wait to become an air traffic controller overall.
This is my dream career because I think ATC is the coolest thing ever.
This is exactly what I want to do for the rest of my life.
I have a proud wife, 3 sons.
I have my wife at home, 2 little girls. Great opportunity for me and my family.
We've never had a group perform that well.
How cool is this? So Sean Duffy, Transportation Secretary. Now, Sean Serino, you're a gamer. You saw some of those gamers. Fair assessment say some of them are kind of nerdy.
Yeah.
I guess. Maybe.
Sort of, kind of.
Sort of, kind of. The one guy who goes, I stayed up till midnight so I could fill out the application.
He's a little creepy on that one.
I stayed up till midnight.
See, the guys that I'm looking at, I will say this. Those are the guys that will probably be the ones that I get extremely upset playing the game against because they literally play it all day from the time they wake up to the time they go to bed. So, yeah, I will probably avoid playing those guys, and those guys are probably real serious.
Yeah, but I'm kind of happy about this because by looking at the video gamers, the Transportation Secretary has now found they're getting the best and the brightest in their hiring pool. They have said the results are historic. 94% of their hiring goal has been met, and it's the fastest time to ever reach that target. They hired more than 2,000 new traffic controllers in the single year, and they said the 2,000 plus are the best and brightest candidates in the pipeline, reaching the academy quicker than any class before them, because it's a streamlined hiring process. So I think this is kind of thinking that really is wise. This is good thinking. And it puts our air traffic controller situation into a much better place. We got better, brighter, younger nerds. And nerds are good people to have in those positions. I'm happy that those nerds are there. Thank you, nerds, for being there. But, for those of you who are addicted to video gaming, no offense, I just think you need to get outside and touch grass, as they say. Touch grass.
I be saying that a lot online when I be playing against those guys. I'm like, you guys got to go outside.
Yeah, well, you ask these guys who are stomping you, whatever. I don't even know what the hot video game is right now.
I call it, I would just say Grand Theft Auto since it's about to come out in a couple of months.
Isn't that like Grand Theft Auto 900? Aren't there like 1,000 versions of it?
To be honest, it should be 1,000 versions of it, but it's only 6. So GTA 6 is about to come out.
I worked with some guys in radio who were in, I think, GTA 3. They put their and they get paid.
Yes,
they get
do.
a little.
Rockstar makes a lot of money, like a multi-billion-dollar company.
Well, when you're a character in the video game, if you're a person and you're a known identity, I guess it's like name, image, and license in sports that you actually get a royalty based on how big of a role you play in the video game. Now, these guys didn't have big roles. They had kind of cameo roles, but they still got a little something for showing up, which is kind of interesting. Very interesting. I mentioned the Democrats in the 2028. We talked briefly about AOC and the fact that she's now out of the pool of candidates, out of the Gavin Newsoms and the Kamala Harrises and the John Ossoffs of the world. And the Mayor Petes. She's now the leading candidate on some of the prediction markets, but we haven't mentioned Rahm Emanuel. Rahm Emanuel is old school Democrat, part of the inner circle, part of Barack Obama's inner circle, former mayor of Chicago, part of the Chicago Democrat mafia, as I like to call them, the Dem mob in Chicago. And there are a lot of people whispering that Rahm Emanuel thinks like he could be a 2028 candidate. I don't see it. I think this guy looks too devious to me at all times, and I'm judging on looks. I shouldn't do that, but I do. Rahm Emanuel is one of the people who's trying to separate himself from what his party did to this country, what Joe Biden did to this country, in talking about the border, specifically about the border. And this is cut 3, Sean. This is Rahm Emanuel revealing his anger at his party over what they did on the border.
I want to be very clear. If you control the border, you send a signal that people who break the law don't get rewarded. And I'm so angry at my party, not only losing control of the border, but in the 2020 debate, raising your hand and saying, I'm going to give health care to people that cross illegally. Forget the immigration policy, the value system. You have American families suffocating under healthcare costs. Not everybody universally covered, but we're significantly well on our way there. And you're talking about free healthcare to having crossed the border illegally? At every level, that was foolish by the party.
If I'm a consultant to a Republican candidate, and I'm facing a Democrat who's talking about Medicare for all, we have to do Medicare for all, we have to do it, I would play Rahm Emanuel talking about how stupid it was for Democrats who open the borders and tell people who came here illegally that we would give you free health care. And the reason why we can't afford so much right now is because for the 4 years under Joe Biden, we allowed the floodgates of illegal immigrants to come in here and give them health care that we should have been giving to American citizens. And I would say, do you think the Democrats are going to let the border remain closed? If you elect Democrats, they will promise Medicare for all, and they will reopen the borders, and the Medicare that you're going to get will be horrible health care, and it will be costing everybody. So I would use that. I would use that Rahm Emanuel anger to my advantage. Now we're talking about 2028 again. We got to go back to AOC because this is one of the most incredible things that I saw over the weekend. Hunter Biden is back. Hunter Biden has been making the rounds, and now 2 weekends ago he made the big announcement that Joe Biden's cancer is progressing very quickly, and that's a terrible story. But Hunter Biden is the guy who now wants us to feel sorry for him and his family because they're broke. Hunter Biden's the guy who took in millions and millions of dollars selling paintings. And I'm using air quotes with my fingers when I talk about paintings. And he was the guy who was bilking foreign governments while his father was the vice president, selling the influence of his father. He was getting money. He was getting diamonds. He was getting God knows what. Drugs and hookers, who knows? And this is the guy who tells us that he sees AOC as the future of the Democrat Party. Truly? Truly, Hunter, this is cut 4, please, Sean.
But the other person that I think is in it for that reason is AOC. I look at her and I think that, and I see the future of the Democratic Party in every way. I think that AOC, not only as a communicator, but as someone that can, that has an instinct to find common ground.
Really?
That is, that believes that in order for, that we do have to have some kind of radical change. And that's not a radical thing to say. It's not a radical thing to say that the system is completely broken. It doesn't work. The idea that 80% of Americans could believe that, the healthcare is a fundamental right, but we still don't have a universal healthcare in one way or another, by whatever means necessary, is crazy. The idea that, that 80% of Americans believe that we should, that there should be some accountability for the corporations that are poisoning our children's mind, literally leading to suicide in the form of social media companies, and have no way in which to hold them accountable because of Section 230.
And you know what else is weird, Hunter? You know what I find weird? That 80% of Americans are demanding voter ID, but you think that's racist. Okay, got it. Understood. Taking a break. It's Mike Opelka. It's Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Back to school season is here, and Dollar General has everything you need to start the school year strong. Don't forget to grab a pair of bright yellow sunglasses from the Yellow Glasses Project for just $2. Every purchase makes a difference, with 100% of proceeds helping support teachers, classrooms, and nonprofit organizations working to improve reading and literacy skills across the country. Stop by Dollar General today and shine bright with the Yellow Glasses Project, available now at Dollar General. The Yellow Glasses Project is a program of the Dollar General Literacy Foundation.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
At Tri-County CDJR, something exciting is happening. Our inventory is going up while our prices are going down. And right where they meet, that's the perfect moment to buy. Right now, get up to 20% off new 2026 Ram 1500s, including a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. More inventory, lower prices. Find your perfect deal at 422jeep.com. That's 422jeep.com.
Tomorrow's 7:10 Phillies Twins game can be heard on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. The Phillies are on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT tomorrow.
Tune in to the Crash Proof Retirement Show Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Joanne Small-Canella and Tracy Stillman. The Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Searching for a new path to wellness. Dr. Molly Fantasia explains how medical hydration therapy can help you reclaim your energy. Listen to Health Watch, Sunday mornings at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling.
I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call
800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Now back to the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
This is Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
It is 5:52 on this Friday evening. Friday Luya to you. Mike Opelka here with you. And we're going another hour. We're doing one more hour. We're going till 7 o'clock ahead of Jimmy Fela. So I'm glad you're here. We have supersized the show. Zioli is off today. I'm sure he'll be back in his spot on Monday. He deserves a little time off. He's hanging out with the family. That's a good thing. We talked about the teacher in Houston who kind of had a tearful post when he was all upset that the students can't read or write. Very upset students can't read or write. And it is depressing, especially when you think that these are the kids who are going to be out in the world. They're going to be adults shortly. They'll be able to fight and die for the country. They'll be able to open a business. And I don't know how you open a business if you can't read or write. You can't read a contract. You can't even read a lease. How are you going to do that? And I think we are... what's the right term? Mollycoddling. We are mollycoddling students. So, Sean, I want to play. I'm going to cut this off early, but can you cue up cut 14? This is big news coming out of the University of Michigan and what they're going to do for freshman students as it relates to their grades. Roll it, please.
The University of Michigan is making a major change to grades. I want to know what all of you think about this. Starting in the fall of 2027, freshmen at U of M's College of Literature, Science, and the Arts will have their first semester letter grades hidden from external transcripts. Students will still get grades, their professors will still tell them how they're doing, but instead of an A, B, C, D showing up on the external transcript, the class will basically show pass or no credit. And the first semester grades won't count toward their GPA. Why? University officials say the idea is to give freshmen time to adjust to college, try challenging classes, and to reduce some of the stress surrounding grades. But here's where the debate comes in. Some people may say this gives young students chances to adjust during a huge life transition. Others say college is supposed to prepare you for the real world, and your grades should count from day one.
Yes,
what do you think about
stop
this?
it there.
What do you think is going on?
Here's what I think. I think this is awful. I think this is the... can I say this without getting bleeped? Let's fix it. The wussification of American colleges. College is supposed to prepare you for life. High school was supposed to prepare you for college. Grades matter. The first day you walk into college, you took tests to get into college. You should be ready. If you're not ready when you walk in there, then you should have a failing first semester, and it should show up. This, I think, is a horrible idea. We are building weakness into the youth, or the youths of America. Bad idea. I know that parts of the Ivy League are teaching. What are they teaching? They're teaching remedial math to kids. In college, in the Ivy League. The failing is in the lower education in the high schools, and of course in the grammar schools and middle schools. And maybe it's turning education back over to the states that will have the states being more competitive And that would be meaning getting rid of the Department of Education, as the president has promised. Let me get one more little woke thing in here. Cut 9, please. Can we play UFC CEO Dana White mocking the British boxing about their use of ring card girls? Please.
Where are the ring card girls?
Don't even get me started.
I don't know what round we're in.
The UK won't use ring card girls unless you have ring card boys.
Terrible. Won't let us use ring card girls unless you use ring card boys. England, you're done. And this hour's done. Still one more to go. It's Mike Opelka here on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Summer heat, storms, and heavy rain can put your roof to the test. Don't settle for anything less than expert care. PJ Fitzpatrick brings more than 45 years of experience, and they've earned thousands of 5-star reviews, delivering American-made, CertainTeed premium shingles. Most roofs install in just one day, and all come with a lifetime guarantee on materials and labor. Flexible financing makes it easy to protect your home this summer. Visit trustpj.com today.
Hi, this is Larry Steinhaus, and I want to let you know that I buy houses. I buy houses from people that may be a tired landlord, maybe somebody who's having trouble selling their house, or maybe someone who needs to sell their house quickly. Well, all you need to do is call 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137, and I promise to answer the phone and help you with your situation. That's right, your house may be cluttered. It may be a house that a relative left you, or it may just be a house you just want to get rid of. 855-939-1137.
Looking for an auto repair shop you can actually trust? McCullough's Auto Repair has been serving Delco since 1999. They believe honesty, fairness, and friendly service still matter. Chuck and Ralph run the place. No matter your car's issue, they'll explain it in plain English and help you decide what really needs to be done now and what can wait. Chuck's motto is, I'll never steer you wrong. Call McCullough's at 610-446-1230 and ask for Chuck or Ralph. Or visit McCulloughsAutorepair.com.
This is Paul Cozy from Cozy Jewelers in Newtown Square. Your wedding band should last a lifetime, so why settle? We're family owned and design every piece ourselves. When you work with us, you're getting quality jewelry crafted with care. And you're working direct with the designer, me. Step up to the 5th seat and get a wedding band you'll treasure forever at Cozy Jewelers. That's color, cut, clarity, carat, and cozy.
Here's the deal. The government is over $38 trillion in debt, which means the IRS isn't slowing down. And the tax code is complex and unforgiving. So it's not surprising if you're one of the millions of Americans that owe back taxes to the IRS. Unfortunately, they're the world's most powerful collection agency, with the ability to garnish your wages, seize your bank accounts, and even take your home or business. But don't be stressed or worried any longer. We're Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. We have resolved over $3 billion in tax debt for our clients. Our award-winning professionals deal with the IRS every single day, protecting our clients and preparing them for the best possible resolution. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, give Optima a call today.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Army says as it's mourning the 2 aviators who were lost in this week's Apache helicopter crash, and as it tries to better understand why the helicopter crashed, that it's ordering a stand down of all Apache flights temporarily until further notice. Data shows the Apaches have a higher number of mishaps recently than other helicopters in the Army inventory. Alex Stone, ABC News.
President Trump today dismissed concerns from some family members that crew members aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier are suffering because they've been at sea for 9 months.
No. Not nearly long enough.
He made that statement en route to New York, where he said the U.S. continues to have success in its war with Iran.
Pretty soon I'll be declaring the Hormuz Strait a territory of the United States.
Iran's deputy foreign minister responded in a statement saying the strait cannot be seized by tweet, aircraft carrier, issuing an order, or election speech. The president today asked the Supreme Court to allow construction to resume on the White House ballroom after two lower courts said that Congress must authorize non-security construction. ABC's Stephen Portnoy has details from Washington.
The administration's filing takes head-on the idea embraced by an appeals court panel that the president is not the owner of the White House, but merely a tenant. The administration's petition says that would make a judge the president's de facto landlord.
Luigi Mangione faces life in prison after pleading guilty to federal charges today. He admitted to killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in 2024. U.S. Attorney Jamie McDonald said,
"There are no accommodations or concessions, and we are free to seek the maximum penalty under the law."
That means life in prison. Mangione's attorneys are seeking the dismissal of state charges. You're listening to ABC News.
In a recent survey of 123,000 wireless customers, Pure Talk was the only wireless company to receive 5 stars in every category: coverage, support, value, and data. What else do you need to know? Switch to Pure Talk today and get any plan, including their top shelf unlimited data plan, for just $15 a month for your first 3 months. No contract, no commitment. Dial pound 250, say micro, and let Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team help you make the switch.
These days, heading back to school means more than pencils and notebooks. It means laptops, tablets, online accounts, and a lot of personal information moving across the internet. WebRoot Total Protection gives families powerful online defense tools with antivirus, VPN, cloud backup, identity protection, and more, helping keep your digital life secure throughout the school year and beyond. Go to webroot.com/radio and get 60% off today. That's webroot.com/radio for 60% off. Live a better digital life with WebRoot, because peace of mind shouldn't be optional.
Forget about back-to-school season. Major retailers are already rolling out Halloween displays, says ABC's Elizabeth Schulze.
Costco, Target, Walmart, CVS, and Home Depot launching their Halloween products in-store or online, selling costumes, decor, and candy. The pop-up store Spirit Halloween tells us that 5,000 people attended its flagship store opening in New Jersey on August 1st, and more than half of its 1,500 locations are already open nationwide.
Just days after classes began, 2 schools in Santa Fe, New Mexico were placed on lockdown, but the threat was not caused by a person.
A devastating drought across New Mexico and wildfires raging beyond the city limits have driven wildlife into population centers.
Over the last several days, we've had at least 4 to 5 reports involving bear activity.
Santa Fe Deputy Police Chief Lawrence Barnett says a bear was spotted Thursday near a pair of schools.
Both schools were placed in the shelter-in-place.
The bear was later shot with a tranquilizer loaded onto a truck and relocated outside of town. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro in Washington, D.C. says an arrest was made in connection with vandalism this week at the World War II Memorial on the National Mall. She's identified the woman as Melissa Farris. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, part of a consortium buying a stake in one of the world's most iconic sports teams, 20-time English soccer champion Liverpool. I'm Brian Clark, ABC News.
In a recent survey of 123,000 wireless customers, Pure Talk was the only wireless company to receive 5 stars in every category: coverage, support, value, and data. What else do you need to know? Switch to Pure Talk today and get any plan, including their top shelf unlimited data plan, for just $15 a month for your first 3 months. No contract, no commitment. Dial pound 250, say micro, and let Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team help you make the switch.
WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Free speech lives here. The WPHT Afternoon Show.
And welcome to it, 4th hour of Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Mike Opelka in, Zioli off. He took Thursday and Friday off this week, so we extended the afternoon show to the early evening show. So we will be going till 7 p.m. tonight, and then Jimmy Fallon following up this show. We can't really call it the afternoon show. It's the early evening show. And we're going to try and get to things that maybe we're sitting in the back of the old audio video refrigerator. The clips that we wanted to play earlier this week but couldn't get to, and because we get enough of it every day, we have to go to my favorite segment.
Democrats say the darndest things. Are you serious right now? Democrats say the darndest things. They make me laugh, they make me smile. I swear to God, sometimes I cry. Yeah.
That's right. Democrats say the darndest things, and we have an overload of them. Today's focus, Democrat governors.
Democrats say the darndest things. Are you serious right now? Democrats say the darndest things. Are you serious right now?
Yes, I am serious right now. And the Democrat gubernatorial candidates that have been making me laugh this week, boy, oh boy, I could probably do an entire hour on them. But, you know, we have to get to some other things here as well. So let's start with one of the crazier ones in the state of Ohio, nearby Ohio, which has a chance to elect Vivek Ramaswamy, former presidential candidate, no doubt getting the endorsement of President Trump. Vivek Ramaswamy currently locked in a pretty tight battle against a Democrat nominee who believes that ICE is actually closer to the KKK than anything else.
There are people coming out there wearing masks with all the gear on. We don't even know who they are. They're just showing up. Does this not feel like the Ku Klux Klan to anyone?
No, only to you crazy people. The KKK, by the way, an invention of which political party, madam? Yeah, the Democrats. The Democrats gave us the KKK, so your party responsible for that. But not to be outdone by the Ohio gubernatorial candidate, the Michigan gubernatorial candidate for the Democrat Party is a woman named Jocelyn Benson. Jocelyn Benson is the current Secretary of State in Michigan. And she is someone who was sponsored in her campaigns, not just this one, but previous campaigns by George Soros. And all of the Soros family members each made maximum donations to Jocelyn Benson's campaign when she was running to be the Secretary of State. And now she is running to be the governor to replace Big Gretchen Whitmer. And she seems to be ignorant to what you would expect the Secretary of State and a gubernatorial candidate to be aware of. And that would be things like the tax rate. The Democrats are running on this idea of affordability. And they're running on this idea that the rich people need to be taxed more. You would think you would know what the tax rates are.
What's the state tax rate in Michigan?
Well, we have a sales tax of 6%. We have a very low income tax, and then we have
what is the state income tax?
I'm not sure off the top of my head, but
now wait a minute. I actually give this interviewer a little bit of credit. He asked the question because he sensed the vagueness in what she was saying. He asked her because she was saying, definitely we need to raise more tax revenue. We got low income tax in the state. I'm so glad he went back at it.
6%. We have a very low income tax, and then we have
what is the state income tax?
I'm not sure off the top of my head, but we have. But I do think we need to re-examine our entire tax code.
So she's running to be the governor, and she knows that she wants taxes to be higher. She needs more tax money. That's what she's saying. She's basically saying, we got to have more money. We need more of those people's money because we know better how to spend it and what to do with it and where to allocate it. But she has no idea what people are currently paying. You can't claim that affordability is an issue if you have no idea what people are paying. But continue, madam.
We do have, for example, the fact that you can fuel a private plane in Michigan without having to pay taxes on that fuel, right? So, and that's unique to Michigan and a few other states. So I do.
She doesn't understand language either. This claim that Michigan allows planes to stop there and refuel without paying tax on that fuel. So can you imagine filling up your car in the state of Michigan and not having to pay the gas tax? Wouldn't that be a good idea? Especially if you're saying affordability is tough, you could have a gas tax holiday. It seems like it'd be a good idea. But she also says it's unique to Michigan and a few other states. Well, if it's unique to Michigan, then it's only Michigan. You can't say it's unique to Michigan and a few other states.
I think a lot of aspects of our tax code need to be re-examined and modernized, and that's one of the things I want to bring people together who have an expertise in a tax code and in economics to help us figure out so that we can make a more equitable tax code for the state of Michigan.
Equitable tax code for the state of Michigan. I wonder who was in charge of the state of Michigan when it was decided that the state of Michigan would not charge private planes that would be refueling in the state money. I wonder who's in charge. Gee, Big Gretch has been there for quite some time, has she not? And not only are the gubernatorial candidates talking about raising taxes and saying dumb things, Democrat Abdul Rahman El Sayed admits that his dream of a socialist world, socialist America, socialist Michigan, with all of the goodies, all the candy they're going to give, including Medicare for all, is going to mean they're going to have to raise taxes, not just on the billionaires or the billionaires, but on everybody.
It is going to require taxes. And the question of who pays those taxes is an important question. There's a philosophical debate about how much of those taxes we would ask working Americans to pay. And I fall on the argument that I think it's important that from the political economy perspective, that everybody pays a bit in. Because when you look at conservative arguments for Social Security and Medicare, it almost always has to do with the fact that I paid into the system, ergo I take from the system. And I think that is a justification that's worth investing in here.
Now, this is interesting because he brings up that everybody should have skin in the game. I agree with him. I wonder if Abdul Rahman El Sayed knows that there is a huge portion of this country that pays zero income tax, zero federal income tax. A gigantic portion of this country pays absolutely nothing. And if you look at the top 10% of earners in this country, that group, that 10% of earners pays the vast majority of income taxes in America. Overwhelming majority. As a matter of fact, if you go to the 5%, they are paying more than 50% or damn close to 50% of all of the taxes. And there's a huge number of people in this country who don't pay any taxes. So maybe a little skin in the game is good. I would love to see one of these candidates stand up and say, you know what would really be fair? Because they are obsessed with fairness, aren't they? You know what would really be fair would be if we could come up with a way. I don't know how Democrats would do it. If we could come up with a way to have a flat tax where everybody who reaps the benefits of being an American would have to pay either 5% or 10% with no deductions. What do you think that would do? What do you think that would do to your spending power if your total taxes were just 5%? If you made under $75,000 a year, you paid 5% flat tax, no questions asked. If you made over $75,000 a year, you paid 7%. Then you get up to $150,000, you pay 10%, and everybody pays 10%, even if you make $100 million a year. Get rid of all the deductions. Now, that wouldn't fly, right? It wouldn't fly. Why wouldn't it fly? It wouldn't fly because so many accountants would be put out of work. So many tax attorneys would be put out of work. So just me suggesting it probably has people targeting me right now. I'm just saying. Just throwing that out there. Oh, we should continue a little more with Democrats say the darndest things. Had fun with some governors, some Senate candidates. There is more to the political realm than just gubernatorial candidates and Senate candidates. We also have people like AOC, who, by the way, AOC currently leading in the Kalshi poll for 2028 Democrats and overall candidates. This happened yesterday. It wasn't Kalshi, it was Polymarket. Polymarket yesterday said that AOC has overtaken Marco Rubio in the presidential odds for the first time this year, moving into that spot. Now, she is in second place behind, J.D. Vance. But this still gives her 13% chance of being the president. America is smarter than this. I do believe it. But then again, California specifically has given us Adam Shifty Schiff. Adam Schiff. He's one of the people who believes that the Democrat Socialists are going to be really important to the party. He's one of the people who believes that the party has to accept socialism in order to win in the midterms.
There's kind of a lot going on for Democrats right now. We in Washington have been watching very closely some of these primaries. You had progressive Abdul El-Sayed just beat establishment-backed Democrat in Michigan. Dozens of DSA-backed candidates are winning primaries across the country. Today is election day, and Wisconsin Democrats might nominate Democratic Socialist Francesca Hong for governor. Here in California, though, voters nominated the most establishment credentialed Democrat in a crowded governor's field. You'll hear from Javier Becerra in a moment here. San Francisco just handed its moderate mayor a clean sweep. Is this one Democratic Party right now? Like, what's going on, Senator?
So Adam Schiff, given the broad overview by this reporter, this host at a Politico event, saying, what's going on with your party? Are you guys going to have to welcome in all these socialists?
It is one Democratic Party, and I think if we want to be in the majority, we're going to have to be a big tent party. I would much rather have that diversity in our party than have it outside the party.
So he thinks you have to have all these people in your party. You have to let these people in your party. And what is it all about? It's all about winning and gaining power. It was about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, when Sonny Hostin on The View talked about the need for the Democrats to be strategic, and that means just to get power.
It's time for Democrats to stop that nonsense, put emotions on the side. Let's be strategic. Let's get some power.
Let's get some power. And, of course, the trained SEALs in the audience clapped and screamed, yes, let's get some power. Well, we saw what you guys did with power in the past, so I'm not really comfortable with that. But they're not hiding it anymore. They can't really hide it anymore. That's the interesting thing. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. They support the Democrat Socialists because it will get them back into power. I'm waiting for Kamala Harris to say it. She's been making the rounds, doing the podcast, and trying to indicate that she really believes she is going to be the nominee. I think her time is long gone, but there must be a lot of money on the table. We will see. Kamala has talked about changing the Supreme Court. She's talked about making sure Puerto Rico and D.C. are offered statehood, which would give the Democrats a permanent majority in the United States Senate. And that's a scary prospect, is it not? Yeah. Well, she also has called on everybody, if they get power back in the Democrat Party, to pack the Supreme Court and revisit the existence of the Electoral College.
Structural change. I think we need to revisit the efficacy of the Electoral College.
Efficacy of the Electoral College. That's an interesting term. The efficacy, whether or not the Electoral College works. Well, if you lose, it doesn't work. If you win, it works. That's kind of the simple way to understand it. Truly, if something is not working for you, you want to change. But if it's working for the overall nation, I think that's a good thing, madam.
I think we need to expand the Supreme Court and look at reforms. So much of what we are dealing with right now, back to the point of just a violation of civil rights and all that your parents and mine fought for, the Supreme Court decisions by this court that was basically at this point hand-selected by Donald Trump.
Well, Trump did get to pick 3 justices on the Supreme Court, but that's the way the system works. Now, when you start listening to some of the Democrats, some of the leading candidates in the Democrat Party, it almost sounds as if they would like to change who gets to select the members of the Supreme Court, which I believe would require a constitutional amendment to change the way the Supreme Court is built. I think that's what they're aiming for. And I don't know if the Democrats would be able to accomplish that in 1, 2, 3 terms. I don't even think they truly believe in that. But if they do get the presidency in 2028, there is a good chance there may be a Supreme Court retirement in the very near future. Not a lot of spring chickens on the Supreme Court. But if President Trump doesn't get to add to the court before the end of his term, the Democrats are already licking their chops thinking they are going to be able to do that. And that is worrisome. That is troublesome to me. Bothers me greatly. But expanding the court is something that is on their mind. Expanding the court is something they believe they absolutely need to do. And they would put as many as 13 justices. I'm sorry. Someone's going to write in on the YouTube channel. Say, no, it's not judges, Mike. They're justices. Yeah, I get it. Oh, slip of the tongue. It's late on a Friday. You know, what am I going to do? Not a perfect human being here. Not even close to it. But I do anticipate if the Democrats get control of the House and or the Senate, boy, we're in for a very rough final 2 years of President Trump's second term. A really, really rough time. So we got to see that turnout is driven very strongly. Speaking of Democrats saying the darndest things, not necessarily an elected Democrat. I think if the Democrats had their way, they might start electing some people in the entertainment world to take some spots. They often talked after President Trump was elected of finding a candidate like Trump who came from outside of politics. That was one of the things that they discussed forever and ever and ever. And one of the people that I believe the Democrats would like to have in a spot in terms of the House or the Senate would be somebody like comedian Margaret Cho. Margaret Cho, an extreme leftist, used to make all kinds of jokes when she was a pudgy comic about 15, 20 years ago. She lost a bunch of weight, had a bunch of plastic surgery, and now she wants everything to be woke. She wants comedy to be put through a filter, a language filter. And as a First Amendment absolutist, I'm somebody who thinks, really, there is no censorship to speech. If you're offended, you're offended. It's your right to be offended. And that's the speech that must be defended, the speech that offends people. And there's a whole bunch of it. Margaret Cho talking about how comedy needs to be altered so we can protect trans people.
Or even like talking about trans people.
Yes, yes.
I think trans lives has become a very big thing in comedy.
Trans lives has become a very big thing in comedy. This is the first I'm hearing of it. I watch a lot of comedians because we need laughter every day. Trans lives has become a very big thing in comedy. I missed a memo, but continue, madam.
Because they want to contest it. They don't understand that when you take trans lives lightly in a comedy routine, trans people die.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry, I missed that one. Let's back that up a little bit. Margaret Cho telling us that trans is a big deal in comedy right now and can't take it lightly.
Want to contest it. They don't understand that when you take trans lives lightly in a comedy routine, trans people die. And they don't have that understanding that like there are real consequences to your actions just because they don't affect you personally, but this will affect a trans person's life. Or even like talking.
How, madam? Can you quote us? And she's on a very liberal podcast, so there's going to be absolutely zero pushback from the interviewer. I think that was that Kamau Bell guy who's got the show on CNN. That now are we gonna have language police? I thought we had gotten through this. I thought that comedy was going to be the thing that brought us back. For a long time, in the earliest days of cancel culture, we had Jerry Seinfeld telling us that he was no longer doing any college tours because they were just too woke. And they were forcing comedians to censor their material. So Seinfeld dropped out of the college circuit, which really was one of the biggest things in comedy. The college circuit was where breaking comedians would, you would find out who was the next great comedian through the college circuit. Just unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. As again, I said, I could play Democrats saying the darndest things over and over and over again for hours and hours and hours because they come up with so many things. And maybe we're going to have to expand it to be Democrats, socialists say the darndest things. You know, Hassan Piker, he is the demon du jour for those of us on the right. And I tend to believe that some of the Democrat Party are starting to see Hassan Piker as a demon as well. He's now out there telling the Democrat socialist libs that they really need to change and they need to embrace being called communists because they are communists.
For all the DSA folks, whenever people ask me this, I always say, look, I don't self-describe as a communist, but I have no issue with the moniker. This is your opportunity to also do the same. And if you're a communist, even better. But if you're not, and you're like worried, oh no, they're calling us commies, they're calling us communists. They call everybody communist. The Republicans call everybody communist. They call Nancy Pelosi a communist. Who gives a Who gives a It's no longer the Cold War. It's no longer the Cold War. The dynamic is changing a lot. So this is your moment, your opportunity to not back down from these sorts of statements. Do not fall for it. Double down. Be like, what's wrong? That's a decent end goal. I think so.
Well, just because you think so doesn't mean a normal person thinks so, Hassan. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. This guy, I hope the Democrats let him keep talking. I know there's a bunch of them that want him silenced. Speaking of wanting him silenced, I have to take a break. We will cut aside here for a couple of minutes. When we return, there are still a few more things that happened this week that we have to share with you. Some of them beyond infuriating. I laugh when I see ads played at the gas station while I'm pumping gas. Did you think those ads weren't going to come inside your car? They've made it inside the car. I'll explain just around the corner. It's Mike Opelka. It's Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. You know, summer's the time we find out how brutal this winter weather was to our home. So if you're looking for a contractor that can help with repairs during this time, or maybe you want to get a jump on renovations for the fall, I have the perfect team, Emmons. Emmons delivers protection, peace of mind, and true craftsmanship. That's why Emmons is my go-to contractor for roofing, siding, and windows, and they even have a new kitchen and bathroom remodeling division. Emmons doesn't just make your home look great, it makes it stunning from the curb. Energy efficient, secure, and ready to withstand the elements. You're going to get top quality materials, the finest craftsmanship in the area, and American-made roofing products. From lifetime warranted Owens Corning roofs built to handle severe weather, to siding that insulates and elevates your home's look, to windows that blend style and performance, Emmons has you covered. Don't wait. Reach out to Emmons today by going to emmonsroofing.com. Upgrade your home with confidence with Emmons Roofing and Siding, and make sure to tell them I sent you. emmonsroofing.com.
Craving real barbecue? Head to Henry's Hots Barbecue in Folsom, New Jersey. Voted Best of South Jersey Barbecue for 14 years. Open Friday through Sunday from noon till 7. Featuring St. Louis-style ribs, beef brisket, burgers, and an all-you-can-eat buffet every Sunday. Dine inside, relax outside, grab takeout, or let Henry's Hots cater your next event with full-service catering. Find them at 1003 Black Horse Pike in Folsom or visit bestbbqsj.com. Henry's Hots Barbecue, real Texas-style barbecue done right.
Dawn Stensland here. There's a feeling that comes with driving a Mercedes-Benz. A feeling of confidence, craftsmanship, and arriving exactly where you belong during the Mercedes-Benz Welcome Home celebration. Discover exceptional offers on a selection of new vehicles, including the GLC and GLE SUVs. The Welcome Home celebration happening now. Mercedes-Benz of Westchester, Wilmington, and Atlantic City. YazAutogroup.com, PIAZZA. Tell them Dawn sent you.
you?
Hey, this is Brian Veazey, the new PNC Bank Regional President. Do you think that banking is boring? At PNC, we know that meeting the banking needs of the community is anything but boring. That's why PNC Bank introduced a mobile branch across the region to bring banking services to underserved neighborhoods. And long before that, PNC Community Development Banking was leading the way in investing in the economic health of our neighborhoods. To see the results, stop into any PNC branch right here in the greater Philadelphia community. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Welcome to Bucks County Estate Traders.
Wow, look at the selection. So many great pieces.
If it's one-of-a-kind pieces you're looking for, you've come to the right place. We have a huge selection, from high-end brands like Stickley, Baker, and Henredon, or if you're looking for that vintage or antique piece to make a statement, we got that too.
I think I'm gonna need a few laps to check everything out.
Yeah, we hear that a lot. Happy hunting!
For quality high-end furniture built to last, visit their showroom in Hatfield or online at buckscountyestatetraders.com.
When someone's AC is on the fritz or drains are just not draining at all, like at all, Horizon Services never asks, how soon do you need it fixed? You know why? Because no one in recorded history has ever said, oh, take your time, just whenever you can get to it. We just assume how fast can you get here will always be the answer. So Horizon will be there same day, and we won't leave until you're 100% satisfied. See? Sometimes it's good to assume. It gets your AC fixed fast. Book today at horizonservices.com.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings 6 till 10.
This was the first year that I was able to be a sports dad. The only time I lost my ever-loving sugar honey iced tea, while other kids were swinging a bat, loosening up, wrapping up a little long toss, and she was on the phone. So I walked over there, and there was nobody around. I said, give me that phone right now. Pay attention to the game. I'm telling you, these phones, total disaster. And I'm guilty. I should have put my foot down years ago. Can't put the genie back in the bottle. It is what it is at this point. For the future of other dads out there that still have time, put the foot down.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
When I grow up, I want to be a glass countertop in a new home.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's best birthday present.
When I grow up, I want to be a football stadium.
When I grow up, I want to be a warm fleece on a cold day.
When I grow up, I want to be a fancy backsplash.
I want to be a bike that races around the country. When I grow up, I want to be a bench on a forest trail. I want to be a rocking chair on a sunny porch. I want to be a skyscraper. I want to be a
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. A public service advertisement brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
I believe in you. Just 4 simple words, but to a child in need, they mean the world. I believe in you means you have potential. You are special. You matter. When you become a child sponsor with Save the Children, you're saying, I believe in you. You are smart. You're capable. You will overcome obstacles that most can't imagine. Your sponsorship says to a child, I believe that you deserve a successful start to life and a solid foundation to build upon. I believe you're worthy of good nutrition, quality healthcare, and the opportunity that education unlocks. Becoming a Save the Children sponsor sends a powerful message of support. It says, I am here for you, to lift you up, to cheer you on, and to celebrate your success. Because when you believe in a child, you empower them to believe in themselves. I believe in you. Just 4 simple words that can bring hope, that can change a life. Visit sponsor.savethechildren.org today and tell a child in need, I believe in you.
Broadcasting live from the Piazza Auto Group studios. Experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
And welcome back to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Opelka, Mike Opelka, that's me, wrapping up my 4 days of hosting the afternoon show, and yesterday and today, because Zioli took the option this weekend, took the extended weekend, and he's been off Thursday and Friday. Jimmy Fallon, following up this show. We still have a few more issues to wrap up before we get out of here. I was just looking back during the break at some of the highlights from last night's Field of Dreams game. The Phillies just rocked it in Iowa. It's such an amazing experience. This was a good week for baseball. I mentioned that earlier this week, the Chicago White Sox, who I follow, they're a terrible team. My Chicago White Sox had Pope Hat Night. They had Pope Hat Night on the 11th, on Tuesday. And everybody who went to the game got a Pope Mitre. Looks pretty cool. Mine should be arriving in the mail. I sent my tickets to my sister and brother-in-law and their kid, and they promised me they were mailing me the hat. So I will wear it on the golf course. You might see me sporting the Pope hat on the golf course this weekend. Anyway, the Field of Dreams Classic, which hasn't been played in 4 seasons, was played last night, and they had a bunch of Hall of Famers come out on the field walking through. Mike Schmidt was there. That was cool. I got chills watching it. I still believe baseball is a great sport. And a lot of people say, just old guys like baseball. No, not really. Look at all the kids who are playing it. Look at all the kids who are still playing baseball. Little League is still a thing. Thank God. I hope you're going to make plans to get outside this weekend. It looks pretty decent. It looks like this is going to be another decent weekend after the crazy ones we've had. I want to get to the weekend. I want to get to Jimmy Fallon's show, so we have to still cover a few more of the big stories of the day. A couple of them involve head-shaking things. For example, I know I said I ended Democrats say the darndest things, but I just have to question this one. Florida, which we look at Florida and we say, thank God for Florida. Florida reliably very red. They're very conservative in their voting. There are a couple of pockets of liberals in Florida, and there is one Florida Democrat who opened up a virtual rally yesterday with slam poetry. Now, this combines the Democrat propensity for apologizing for stolen land, as they say. This one combines slam poetry and apologizing for the racist stolen land. I'll just give you a little bit of it here because it goes on forever and ever.
Agua Florida, Ponce de Leon haunting the fountain of youth at a genocide theme park. The smudge of the Timucua people slaughter, we water. Fluent in the cursive tongue of hurricanes, tracing the mid-Atlantic signature on our front porches.
Maybe we need bongos. I know Tyrus always likes to put bongos behind this kind of ranting. She just went on and on and on. I'll fast forward all the way to the end here. It goes on for about 2 minutes.
Of burning flesh whitens the streets. This is the crime that no one was charged for. In Florida, there's no truth, only sentencing and cruel fragments.
Cruel fragments, yeah. Angie Nixon is her name. If she gets elected, I will be surprised, but she did hold a virtual rally. Now, you may run in a very deeply blue district and make some headway. Kind of interesting to see. I will get to the story I teased about the ads jumping inside your car because it really is infuriating. But I saw this story and I wanted to point this out. I don't know if you remember a couple of years ago, there was a montage of local news stations talking about a story about how they wanted to be genuine and they wanted to be reporting the news to you locally, etc. And someone said, wait a minute, I heard the same story in my town. And another person, I heard it in my town. And it turns out that a lot of these small stations in other cities owned by a big corporation were being fed a mandatory statement they had to make. And we realized that then the news had been taken over and there was extreme indoctrination being imposed on people through local news stations. Well, now news and how it's delivered has shifted. Most of the younger people today don't get their news from television. And many of them don't even get it from radio. So where do they get their news? They get it from the social media outlets. They get it from Instagram or Twitter, or they get it from TikTok. And I resisted TikTok for years because of the connections to China. And only when Donald Trump broke China's grip on TikTok did I become a TikTok follower and TikTok presence. I don't really do much on TikTok, but I do keep my eyes peeled. And I'm learning about TikTok accounts that are looking like they're just normal people venting, but they're actually spreading Democrat talking points. And it turns out these people are paid influencers. These are TikTok accounts run by paid influencers, and they are scripted. And thank God the people are out there watching. It is a coordinated propaganda operation designed to undermine this administration and start herding people towards the Democrat Party, which will ultimately herd them towards the Socialist Communist Party. It is so amazing to me. We're always hearing about, affordability. The Gen Z kids, they can't afford anything. These are Sophia, Pablo, Kay, and Emma's TikTok accounts. Sophia, Pablo, Kay, and Emma. TikTok influencers. And what do you notice when you watch this or when you listen to this? They've all got the same script.
I was talking to my friend from Europe about the cost of living in Ohio and just how everything has gotten so unaffordable, and he was literally shocked. He was like, but Ohio's a cheap state, I thought.
Genuinely just got off the phone with one of my European friends, and he was in complete disbelief when I told him the prices here in New York, because I genuinely can't believe them either.
My cousin from Scotland just got in touch with me and how the price of living has gone up like crazy. And he was all like, but you live in Ohio, like you don't really have to worry about it, right? Like that's pretty cheap.
I live in New York, and I was talking to my friend in France the other day, and I was telling her, I literally can't afford my rent.
Now, I don't know about you, but I don't think I have 4 friends who regularly say, I was talking to my friend in Europe, in Scotland, in France, and wherever. That immediately makes me think, hold on a second. They've all been told to read the script or at least get this point out, that you were talking to someone outside of the United States. And trust me, it's a lot more expensive to live in Scotland and France than it is to live in Ohio. Just buying gasoline alone is a lot more expensive. And don't even talk to me about not being able to get air conditioning. But listen, there's more.
I was like, yeah, it used to be, but to be honest, there's no such thing as a cheap state anymore. He says, but you have a second job. Isn't that for like fun stuff or saving and stuff? Like, just use that for now. I was like, you think my second job is for fun?
So now they're attacking the idea of having to work a second job if you want more. Gee, when I was growing up and I said to my dad, hey, I'd like to get a new bike. And he's like, well, you could maybe cut a few more lawns in the neighborhood or shovel a few more driveways or do a little more work somewhere else at the grocery store. Oh, it's maddening. But the pattern is what's distressing.
For survival, have you seen the cost of gas after the MAGA Republicans started a war in the Middle East? Have you seen the cost of groceries in Ohio after the MAGA Republicans did all these tariffs?
1 year ago, I was looking at gas prices being $2, $3 at most. Right now, I'm lucky to find $4 a gallon. That is insane. I was telling my European friend that I'm working 2 jobs to barely cover my living expenses. And
again, the cost of gas, the European friend, the second job. There's a pattern here.
He was shocked, thinking that my second job was just for me to put extra money into my savings. I can't afford living in New York because these MAGA Republicans thought it was a good idea to go to war instead of actually lowering prices how they said they would. Somebody please help me because this is genuinely intolerable.
It used to be. And he's like, well, what do you mean? I was like, I have 2 jobs and I can barely afford it. And he's all like, with 2 jobs, you cannot afford to live there. I thought you had a second job just to have like extra income. No.
All of them have the same talking points. Talk about your second job. Talk about unaffordability. Mention MAGA Republicans. Mention the war in the Middle East. This is a very well-coordinated and well-funded campaign that has recruited influencers, as they're called. Man, that term makes me sick. Influencers. Oh, they're influencers. They're so important, these influencers. Well, they are They are important to the Democrats, and they are influencing more people than we know. These people hit millions and millions and millions of people every single day, and their message is being crafted by someone else. They don't have the brains to do this. They really don't. Absolutely do not. All right, the story that kind of really tweaked me. I said when I go to Wawa to fill up my tank, I know someone's going, you buy Wawa gas? So far, it's been pretty good. It hasn't been a problem. Wawa, I put Wawa in my 2-year-old BMW. I used to put Wawa in my 6-year-old Mercedes-Benz, Wawa gas. Just buy premium. You buy good gas, and it runs fine. It's 91 octane. It was running great. But I always used to laugh when you'd start pumping and you'd get the gas station TV videos coming up. And I know Wawa's not the only one. It seems like every outlet has gas station TV going. And then I saw the story about a Spider-Man ad playing inside a BMW. Now, again, I have a 2-year-old car. It'll be a 3-year-old car very soon. And there is a screen which controls pretty much everything. You've got a screen between the passenger and the driver's seat, and you get to see maps, et cetera, et cetera. But I have yet to see ads pop up on it. I'm guessing this is a new thing that's coming to your car. And it's not just going to be a BMW. Everybody's got a screen.
LOL, BMW just pissed off a lot of owners because they're putting like Spider-Man basically advertisements inside their vehicles, and I think that brings up like a bigger question of like the ethics of advertising and how that pertains to the car industry, and how automakers should definitely not be allowed to just forcibly apply marketing materials into the interface of a car and an appliance that people use on a daily basis. Now, that's an interesting argument this guy makes. Really bothers me. You probably can't see the video. He's got a ceiling fan whirring behind him over his head. It's kind of a weird shot. I don't know why he did it. But the issue of automakers being able to access the screen on your car is not new. Back in 2018, I had a Tesla. Don't judge me. I'll never have another electric car unless they fix all the problems. And Tesla was always sending updates to your car via satellite. So if there was a software update to make the car run better, to make the battery last longer, you received it via satellite. And it was their way of getting into your car. Well, they were also tracking you because they knew where your car was at all times. And if you made one route on a regular basis, let's say you drove to the same office every day, 5 days a week, it would be intuitive when you started your car, started on that path, and let you know if there was a traffic problem going there. Which, yeah, bothered me a little bit, but I also realized that's kind of what your phone is doing too. But the ability to put paid advertisements into your car, I think this is a line that we as consumers have to say, we're not going to allow this. We have to stop this now. And maybe we can't because we let it happen in the movie theaters with all the ads that now run before a film. It used to be when you go to see a movie 1,000 years ago, you would see 1 or 2 trailers. Now there's about 20 minutes of advertising and promotion for everything from coming attractions to food and products and the theater chain itself. So that ship may have sailed. I don't know. Will BMW get pushback on it? Probably. I hope they will. And I hope they can't retroactively access older cars to put the stuff in there. And then I got to wrap up with, I think this week's Loser of the Week is going to be Jim Acosta. Jim Acosta used to have a broadcast career. His first name, by the way, is Abilio Acosta. It's not Jim. He is Abilio Acosta. He's now podcaster Acosta. And he's upset about Caroline Leavitt. And he's probably also upset because Trump's name is going back up on the Kennedy Center. The last time it was being taken down, he spent the weekend
recording the actions of removing Trump's name. He was giddy about it. But this was Acosta yesterday talking about Caroline Leavitt, the outgoing press secretary, who was just amazing. At least I thought she was. The time I got to interview Caroline Leavitt, I thought she was absolutely amazing and a great example for young women in this country.
And I thought coming into this second term, when they announced Caroline Leavitt as the new White House press secretary, I thought, I don't know, is she ready for prime time? She's going to have to do those special exercises that they do inside the Trump White House to really hone their skills at lying to the American people.
I see what you're doing there, Jimmy. Your special skills. Aren't you clever?
But by golly, she put in the work, and she has shown some results. She is, I think, by far the biggest and most effective and most shameless liar that Donald Trump has ever had as White House press secretary.
Now, what we see in others, we often recognize in ourselves. Boy, this guy has TDS, I think, maybe on the same level as Rosie O'Donnell, maybe.
And somebody's saying, Marco Rubio, get your wig and cross necklace. Oh, goodness gracious. Doesn't Marco Rubio have enough jobs? He's like, Marco Rubio is the Secretary of State. He is, I think he's still the National Security Advisor. I think he was running the National Archives. I believe it was also a DC dog catcher. No, that's not true. I made that part up.
Oh, look at you doing comedy, Jimmy. Come on, let's bring this home.
And maybe now he'll be White House press secretary. So we'll see if he can go for the gold like Caroline Leavitt did. But Caroline Leavitt is sort of, and I don't want to use an Olympic athlete's name to describe, somebody of this nature, because then it's sort of negatively associating somebody with that. But I do think that Caroline Leavitt has really shown herself to be, I'll use Tom Brady. I don't like Tom Brady. She's sort of the Tom Brady she's the GOAT. I think she's got the 6 Super Bowl rings now, or is it 7 or whatever it is, of lying on behalf of Donald Trump. So you can ride off into the sunset.
If only you would ride off into the sunset, Jimmy Acosta. If only you would. I'll tell you what, I'm going to ride off into the sunset. I want to say a special thank you to everybody who made this week possible. Sean Serino kicking ass today, helping me out, backing me up. Everybody who listened, I so appreciate you. Till next time, and there will be a next time in about 2 weeks, it's Mike Opelka reminding you, enjoy every sandwich. And testudo, my friends. Testudo.
Testudo.
There's a reason that potato chips don't come in a clear bag.
There's only 8 chips in this bag.
That's why. It's only about 2/3 full. The rest is air. It's a lot like opening up your 401k at retirement. You get about 2/3 of it, and the rest goes to Uncle Sam. Jim Cipriotti at the Retire Ready Financial Group can help. His tax mapping process can help forecast what your tax bill will be in the future, and that way you can build a strategy now to potentially decrease your tax bill in retirement. In other words, more for you and less for Uncle Sam. Call today for your complimentary retirement tax mapping report, 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415, or find them online